Hello everyone, how is it going? This is the Video Gamer 64 and Mr. Arcade Retro Gamer 64 here. Today I am going to be doing something a little different. Instead of showing the video games that I got recently, like such as Super Nintendo and Nintendo 64. Well, anyways guys, today I am going to be showing my entire Nintendo 64 collection as of September of 2019. Nintendo 64 is like the greatest console ever made in my opinion. It is my favorite video game console of all time. You have amazing games like Pokemon Stadium 1, Ocarina of Time, Super Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, and the list just goes on and on and on and on. And sadly, I will say I don't have nearly as much as Nintendo 64 games as I once did years ago. If any of you seen that one I made when I was Sega Saturn Gamer 48, you will see that I had over 150 N64 games to my that I had added to my collection over the years. But as always, like an idiot, I wind up selling most of my N64 games but I got a lot of money out of it and stuff. But anyway, I regret selling most of my N64 games. But currently, I am building them up. I am going to get more than ever someday. It ain't going to take overnight, obviously, but it's going to take a while. But anyways, guys, let's get started with my Nintendo 64 collection. I will be talking about most of these games, if not all of them. Anyways, guys, let's get started. First one I pulled is WCW Mayhem. This was a game I got back in 1999 or 2000. I remember this game coming out, and I couldn't get over all of the wrestlers you had to unlock in this game. You had to unlock about over 20-25 wrestlers, if not more than that. And I remember going quest for the best in this game and wind up becoming a world heavyweight champion and other things. This is a great game. I highly recommend this game. Next, we have an early wrestling game on Nintendo 64, and that's WCW vs. NWO World Tour. Now, this is a great wrestling game. I remember playing this. I think I was like 2 years old when this game came out, so I don't remember playing it when it came out, obviously, because I didn't even have a gaming system back then when I was 2. I had one when I was 3. But anyway, I remember getting this game at Game Trader years ago in the mall, my local mall. And I remember being so excited to get it about, I think it was like 2001, 2002 when I got this game. And I remember being so excited to play this game. And got home, played it, had a good time. And I really enjoyed this game, no doubt about that. Next, we have another game called Knockout Kings 2000. Now, this is the first boxing game I've ever played. The first boxing game I've ever played. And I remember playing as many boxers like Butterbean, Muhammad Ali, who else? Oh, Evander Holyfield. Yes, that's what that guy's name is. You had tons of great legends in this game. To me, this is probably the best boxing game I've ever played besides this and Fight Night Round 3. Next, we got another wrestling game, WWF Warzone. Now, this is one of the best wrestling games on Nintendo 64. I gotta clean this cartridge, obviously, y'all can see that. And it has Stone Cold Steve Austin on the cover right here. I think that is so cool. He's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. You got wrestlers in this game like Kane, Undertaker, Mankind, Stone Cold, British Bulldog, Owen Hart, Bret the Hitman Hart, and more. And I beated this game before, and it's very fun. I highly recommend this game. So yeah, I went in career mode and beat the game. Next, I have not played this game in a while, and that is WCW Backstage Assault. I used to play this game like crazy. And many people hated this game, and people say the graphics were bad. I could understand that. The graphics were bad for the time and stuff compared to Mario Kart and other games. But but the only thing I really like about this game nowadays is unlocking the characters and stuff. You had tons of wrestlers to unlock, like Lex Luger. You had I'm trying to think. You even had the worst guy in WCW, which was Vince Russo back in the day. He was the worst bad guy in WCW, the one that took WCW down years ago. You have so many wrestlers to unlock in WCW Backstage Assault. Anyway, next, this game I got about a couple months ago, about a month or two ago, not for sure exactly. But anyway, it's Pokemon Puzzle League. I love this game, and in my opinion, this is one of the best puzzle games I've ever played. And I beat a Mewtwo a long time ago before I sold my copy and got this copy. And beat a Mewtwo on hard mode and everything. I was very good at this game. And I played it a couple months ago with the day I got it. And fell in love with this game all over again. And so I'm going to be on my quest to beat Mewtwo again. So yeah. Next, we have a game that I never owned in my N64 collection, and that is until now, and that's Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. I got this about a month ago or so, and in my opinion, this is probably the best Tony Hawk Pro Skater game ever. I played this game, and I always thought number one would be my favorite Tony Hawk Pro Skater game. I always thought number one would be my favorite game. But when I played this one, it blew my mind away, and I had to say this was and is the best Tony Hawk Pro Skater game to this day, in my opinion. Next, we have Mace: The Dark Age. Now, this game is a fun fighting game. It's a 3D fighting game, and I didn't think at first the cover looked badass, no doubt about that. But at first, I didn't think I would like it, because I heard some good things and bad things about it. So when I heard the bad things about it, I'm like, I don't know if I would like this game or not. But when I tried it for myself, fell in love with this game. Enjoyed the fighting mechanics and everything in this game. It's pretty hard, no doubt about that, but I like this game. It shows you can't judge a game by its title, or cover, shall I say. Next, we have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1. This was my favorite Tony Hawk Pro Skater game for the longest time until I played Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. And to me, Pro Skater 2 is the best, but this is definitely my second favorite Tony Hawk Pro Skater game, no doubt about that. Next, we have Pokemon Stadium 1. I originally had this, not this cartridge, but I originally had my old cartridge since 1998. For years, I would try to beat Mew and Mewtwo and try to get close to them and stuff like that and unlock them. But years later, I never could, and I sold my copy like an idiot, like I said. And now I know not to sell any of my old copies again. But anyway, years later, my mom witnessed this, and she seen where I unlocked Mew and fought Mewtwo and defeat him on my first try. No joke about that. No doubt about that. And froze him with. And out of all Pokemon I used in this game, I used Ditto, and I copied Mewtwo's moves and defeated him by freezing him with. I'm trying to think what it is he had. Was it Blizzard or Ice Beam he had? I want to say it was Blizzard. Anyway, I froze him. And that was it of him. After like a few shots, I kept battling back and forth with him. But I wound up using Blizzard that one shot, and that was it. Anyway, it's a great game. I highly recommend Pokemon Stadium 1. Now, is it good as Pokemon Stadium 2 that I used to play? I don't know, because I love both of them equally. So, next we have WWF No Mercy. Now, this is the best wrestling game I've ever played. I played many of them in my lifetime. I play many from the Super Nintendo all the way to the Xbox 360 and I think Xbox One. But to me, you cannot beat this wrestling game. The World Wrestling Federation, No Mercy. But yeah, to me, you can't beat that. I played it yesterday to be exact, and wound up unlocking the Intercontinental Championship, and now I'm going for the World Heavyweight title. It's one of the wrestlers I created named Psycho 64 or Psycho Man or something like that. Anyway, next is my original cartridge of South Park Chef's Love Shack. Now, what do I have to say about this game? Many people hate this game, or some people love it, but more people hate it than love it. Me, I personally love this game. I'm a fan of South Park, and I think that's the main reason why I love this game. I'm a fan of South Park, and two of my favorite South Park characters are on this cover, by the way. Eric Cartman and Chef. I know I'm going to get hate for saying Eric Cartman, but I like Eric Cartman. He cracks me up. But yeah, that is a great Nintendo. Well, I can't say it's great, but I can't say it's the best, but I definitely can't say it's worse. The worst N64 game, which obviously all of you know the worst N64 game in my opinion, and that's Superman 64. That game is shit. However, this game right here is not shit, and that is WWF Attitude. Now, this is a great game. I remember unlocking many of the characters in this game in one night a long time ago, and to me, this is one of the greatest wrestling games I've ever played. But to me, you cannot beat this To me, you can't beat WWF No Mercy in this game coming up. And this game I got when I was 5 years old, and that is WWF WrestleMania 2000. I remember getting this game years ago. I think it was at Toys R Us where I got it at, I believe. I was like 5 or something. And I remember for years trying to unlock all these characters or wondering how to unlock them and stuff. And I finally unlocked them all. You gotta unlock, like Paul Bearer, Shawn Michaels, and all of them. But yeah, this is a great wrestling game, and I highly recommend this game to anybody that has not played any of these games. Next, we have Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, my original cartridge of when I was 3 years old. Damn, this is a dirty cartridge, but I gotta clean it up. Might do that later on, but anyway. I remember playing this game years ago, fell in love with it, and I love this game to this day. I highly recommend this game. Something about this game has a unique charm to it, no doubt about that. Okay, let me put this game over here before it falls. Anyway, next we have Kobe Bryant and NBA Courtside. In my opinion, this is a great basketball game. I believe, if I recall right, this was my first basketball game I've ever owned. Yeah, it was. I got this when I was like 4 or 5 years old, and got this at Toys R Us. I remember that for a fact. And I can remember everything at a very young age for some reason. But yeah, Kobe Bryant and NBA Courtside is a great basketball game. The only thing I did not like about this game is that it didn't have Michael Jordan in there as the Chicago Bulls team, because Michael Jordan is like the greatest basketball player of all time in my opinion. I love Michael Jordan as a basketball player. He's very good, no doubt about that. But other than that, Kobe Bryant is in basketball. You had Dennis Rodman. You had many other great basketball legends in this game. Might actually give this game a try again and see if I still like it, like I did last time. Anyway, next I got this cartridge on the comic book. At the comic book store, and that is Spider-Man. Now, what is my opinion on this game? I love Spider-Man 2000 on Nintendo 64. I remember getting my original cartridge years ago that I no longer have. But I remember getting it years ago, and it was fun to play, no doubt about that. Beat the game 7 times, and I could say this is my favorite Spider-Man game of all time. And beat it Monster Rock, yeah, no joke. I beat it Monster Rock 7 times. And that game is pretty fun, no doubt about that. Next we have Star Wars Rogue Squadron. Now, this is a great Star Wars game. This is like one of the greatest Star Wars games on Nintendo 64. And I really recommend this game. You go fly around and shoot all those bad guys like the TIE fighters and all of them, you know. And then, anyway, I recommend this game. It's pretty fun. Next, I got this cartridge recently. Y'all seen it in a video, and that is F-Zero X. Now, in my opinion, this is one of the best racing games on the Nintendo 64. I remember started playing this recently, and to me, this is one of the greatest, not wrestling, it's one of the best racing games ever made, no doubt about that. Next, we got Fighting Force 64 right here, and got all the way to level 6. This kind of reminds me of Streets of Rage 4, and when I seen someone say that, I thought about it when I first played it. I'm like, this kind of reminds me of Streets of Rage, like what it would have been in 3D. And then it was so funny that one of my best friends on the internet said that this reminded him of Streets of Rage and stuff like that. And I'm like, damn, that's weird, because I just thought of the same thing. But anyway, great fighting game, no doubt about that. Next, we have one of the best sports games on Nintendo 64, if not the very best sports game on Nintendo 64. Remember playing this at McDonald's years ago. And I love this game. It's very fun to play to this day. And that is Mario Tennis. Look how beautiful this game is. Just simply look. It is so beautiful. It's a beautiful Nintendo 64 game, no doubt about that. One of the best sports games ever made, period. Well, anyways, guys, I hope all of you guys enjoyed this video of mine. I apologize for this being over 17 minutes long. But, yeah. But anyways, guys, I hope all of you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to subscribe to my The Video Gamer 64 channel and my Mr. Arcade Retro Gamer 64 channel to see more videos on here. And if you're on VLayer, feel free to not subscribe. If you're on VLayer, feel free to follow me on my The Video Gamer 64 channel to see more videos on there. But other than that, feel free to subscribe to me on my The Video Gamer 64 channel and my Mr. Arcade Retro Gamer 64 channel to see more videos on here. And of course, this is The Video Gamer 64 and Mr. Arcade Retro Gamer 64 signing off.